Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and today we are going to look at playsets, vehicles, creatures, some loose complete figures, last 17, lots of interesting items, but mainly ungraded stuff. I know a lot of you don't collect graded, you don't like graded, you don't want anything to do with graded. That's okay. I think I do sneak in a couple of loose graded items, but for the most part, everything in this video are ungraded and mostly complete, or, you know, very close to complete, like that Kenner Canada Death Star Space Station playset. That one was not complete, but I think pretty much everything else that I'm going to show you is, and some interesting stuff overall. So let's start off with the Death Star Space Station playset. And this one's, I got two different sales. All right. So this one, it included, you know, all the parts and instruction sheet, catalog, things like that. That one sold for $490 US, or about 400 pounds. And then one over here in the US sold for $400 US plus shipping. So pretty decent, tight price range. The question I've got for you guys is, are the foam pieces that we see here the correct color? This one looks blue and yellow and gray, and then on this one, it's got like a totally different color motif for the foam. This one I feel like looks like the correct foam color. It's like gold and rust color and kind of dark blue, things like that. This, I get the sense, is potentially a, you know, just reproduction foam. And I don't know if it really matters. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not grading or anything like that. This is really just for display, but was curious if there are different foam colors across the different Death Star Space Station playsets out there. Here was a blue snags, very clean, just very slight, just a very slight smidge of color discoloration to the torso. It's very faint, but I can kind of see it. Maybe my eyes are imagining things, and I'm imagining the discoloration. See, there it looks good. There it does not. Good. Not good. You can see the green, you know, there's a little green tint to the torso. Nevertheless, very nice example. This is the no toe dent version, which is maybe a little harder to find. This is probably about an 80 grade, maybe 80 plus. That one sold for 600 bucks though. And I've got a lot of 12-inch figures, loose complete or with the box, and one loose graded 12-inch figure. So we got Boba Fett. This one sold for $350, loose complete. Very nice example. I don't know what it is about the 12-inch Boba Fett. I just really love it. I love that. It's just such a cool looking figure, and the colors on it really pop to me. I don't know. I've always loved that. I never owned it, but I just love that. The colors on it and the presentation of it. It's just beautiful. Here was a C-3PO. This one was just loose complete with the box, I believe. I don't think it, well, yeah, it wasn't mint and sealed box. That one sold for $152.50. Same seller also had the Han Solo 12-inch figure. That one sold for $431, which is a big number. Very nice example of the Han, though, with the Yavin metal and his blaster, so forth. So $431 on that one. And then here was a loose graded one. This one was loose graded AFA 85. That one sold for $387. And the metal had come loose around his neck, I guess, and was at the bottom of the case. But AFA 85, 12-inch Han Solo, $387, and then a loose complete one with the box for $431. R2-D2 was still attached with the ties inside the box. I don't think it was, oh, it was sealed. I'm sorry, I take it back. So this was factory sealed 12-inch R2. Obviously the box was a little tatty, but that one did sell, one bid at $350. And then here is that Kenner Canada Death Star playset. Now, it was not complete. There's missing the canopy up top and a little ring that holds the canopy in place, which is a very common thing. Usually the canopy is either cracked or lost or broken or whatever. But this is the Kenner Canada version. I don't know how they can tell that. I have no idea how they can tell the difference between the Kenner Canada versus the Palatoy versus, you know, whatever. The Toys, the Australian, New Zealand Toll Toys made one. But this one sold for $473, which I thought was a great deal. Very fair deal for what it was. I mean, it wasn't perfect and it wasn't complete, but this would make a great display piece. So $473 seems like a good deal to me. Very cool. Next up, this one was a rarity. So this is the Empire Strikes Back box for the Jawa Sandcrawler. This is very tough to find. This one had unused sticker sheet, complete with the ladder and the remote and the the catalog. The box had like the invoice slip from where you bought it, probably in a catalog. But again, this is the Empire Strikes Back packaging. Very, very rare. You very rarely see this come up. And this was sold by Gold Star Tech. It sold for $18.25, which was a big number. But I understand why. I mean, this is a Kenner Canada version. Empire Strikes Back packaging as well. So had two things going for it. The box was in really good shape too. I mean, relatively. It wasn't perfect, obviously, but it's got the French language. L'Empire contre-attaque. I'm making myself cough trying to do a French accent. That guttural French accent. It's just terrible. Anyway, I'm such an idiot. I really am. 1825. I mean, it's a big number, but we've seen some U.S. just standard Star Wars boxes with a loose complete Sandcrawler and without the unused sticker sheet like this one had go for $1,600 So I actually think that was a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal to me. More than I can spend, but very nice. Some other loose graded items. I didn't include a lot of loose graded, but this one was that UKG Poppy Boba Fett that Gold Star Tech had. And I said, this would be a good candidate to buy and just send it in to be recased where all the contents are showing. Now, I don't think AFA is loose grading poppies right now, but I know CAS will do it, and UKG could probably do it. Or it could definitely do it. I've seen some UKG graded examples where all the contents are shown. That's the way to do poppies, in my opinion. Like my Death Star droid that I've got. I'll pull it up right now. Hold on. Let me see. Here we go. So this is my Death Star droid. So this is the way you display a poppy. Because you can see the baggie, the little cool catalogs with the Japanese writing, and then the box, obviously. So that's my Death Star droid. But again, I don't think AFA is doing that right now for poppies. But anyway, this one was a UKG 80. Now, an AFA 85 sold on Hakes for over $8,000. It was like $8,600, something like that. So this was a good deal at $4,000. That's a pretty darn good deal, if you ask me. Qualified 80%, because I don't believe these were ever factory sealed. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but these were just kind of folded together and not tape sealed or anything like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Looking at the top of it, it looks like it might have a tape seal there. Around that S1. It's got a little discoloration from a sticker residue, potentially. So maybe they were tape sealed. I don't know enough about them, to be honest. I'm looking at mine right now. This is really compelling TV. I don't see any tape seal on mine. Yeah, it's just the box kind of folded in. I really love poppies, though. They're so awesome. I don't know what it is about them. It's just the Japanese. I'm going to Japan, by the way. I think I told you that. I can't wait to go to Japan. It's not gonna be anytime soon. I think we're going at the end of this summer, either this summer or next summer. I can't remember. My wife is a planner. She likes to plan this stuff out, and like have all the restaurants and hotels and all the events we're gonna do. I stay out of the way. Okay, I just stay out of the way and I show up when I'm supposed to show up. I'm not looking forward to that flight though. I'm trying to talk my wife into getting first class tickets for just me and Liz and my wife, Liz, and have our kids in the back for 16 hours. That sounds amazing to me. That sounds amazing. I don't know if it'll happen though. Probably not. Anyway, $4,000 for a UKG 80 Poppy Boba Fett seems like a good deal to me. Just given some of the data points that I showed you guys in a what to buy video a couple weeks back on Hakes, where, they've gone for over double that price. So that's a price I'd pay if I had the money. This was another rarity. Now, this was just the loose complete figures with the 6-pack ESB box. So these originally came in baggies, right? So this one doesn't have the baggies anymore. But you can see how expensive this box is from collectors, because this is kind of like the poor man's way to get this ESB 6-pack, is to get these loose figures. And I've seen CAS loose grade the figures with the box and the catalog next to it. It looks really cool. But again, it's not, this is not like a qualifiable graded item, because all the figures came in baggies. But CAS will loose grade the figures with the box next to it. I think UKG would probably do it too. But I've seen a few examples like that. But you can see that, I mean, these loose figures are worth what? Maybe $100, $150. So really you're paying the $588.96 was where this one ended up for that rare box. I mean, that's a very rare box. Next up was a CAS 80 Wampa, $285 on that one. Good healthy price for a loose graded Wampa. I was surprised by this one. This was a UKG 85 Probot from the Turret and Probot playset. I can't talk. $600 was the final sales price. So that's a big number. That's a really big number. This was in the US, by the way. It sold at $600. Man, that's a lot of money. A lot of money, but very, very nice, high grade. And it did sell in an auction, 47 bids. So there was a lot of action on that. Some last 17 figures. We got a Luke Stormtrooper, obviously yellowing to the limbs. That one sold for $338. We had an imperfect R2-D2 pop-up. Obviously the sticker has some wear. That sold still for $470. The dome looked nice. It's just the sticker, as is usual, when these sell. You know, the sticker is just very, very fragile, and they yellow, and they scuff really easily. So $470 on that one. We had a yak face with a very yellowed torso that still sold at $570, which is, God, that's a massive number. And we talk about that on the channel, how in the U.S., yak faces still go loose, complete, at best 75 grade. You can see the torso discoloration. Still sold for $570. Wild. Monomon, this seller had several different last 17 with the coin. So we had a Monomon that went for $240.50. General Lando with the coin sold for $257. The Imperial Gunner, this was over in the UK. This one was complete with the weapon, not the coin. That one sold for 233 pounds, which is $288. The A-Wing palette, we just documented a UKG 90 gold level that sold here in the US in an auction for $300. And then we had this loose complete with a lot of paint rub on the silver chest. That sold for $256. And this, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the right weapon? This one's got the light bluish or the dark blue kind of weapon. I thought it was the black pistol. So I think that one's the incorrect weapon too. So be careful out there. Be careful. I think it is. Don't quote me on that. It could just be lighting, but it looks like the blue black that came with the AT-ST driver, and Leia Endor, not the black. So whatever. Next up, we had what the A-Wing pilot drives, and that's the A-Wing, the droid's A-Wing. That one sold for $426. That was loose complete. And then we had a couple of heaters at the end here. We had the Imperial Shuttle with an unused sticker sheet and a beautiful condition box and the instructions. $950 on that one. That was a beauty. Look how beautiful that instruction or the sticker sheet is. That's beautiful. And then finally was from LM Lane. I bought from this seller, great seller. This one was the Tatooine Skiff, 100% complete. That one sold for $825. $825 for the Tatooine Skiff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at recent sales, mainly for creatures, play sets, vehicles, some loose complete 12-inch figures, things like that. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to leave me a like, and I'll be back soon.